Hey, what's going on? It's your boy FF Clay back with another video. I wanted to chronicle and get this down because I had a random thought on my way to the store, just in contemplation of everything that's been going on in my life in a great way. Nothing bad, like great. Life is great. And the question came, like I said, I know I keep alluding to this like elusive testimony that I swear I'm gonna do the video about, and I swear I really am. I'm gonna buckle down and do it. It just seems so overwhelming because we are like still basking in it, and all the feelings associated that have came with it as far as excitement and awe, and just really just actually enjoying life as a result of what has happened. And so it's just like, how can I explain it all without boring you guys with all of the details? But I still don't want that to be an excuse to continue to let time go by. And so I want to drop it. I want to share it, and I want it to be used as an encouragement because I've spent many of days and nights just like relentlessly listening to YouTube and people's testimonies and stories of them applying the principles of law of assumption or law of attraction or manifestation, prayer, whatever you want to call it, and how their stories unfolded, the many different circumstances and situations that surrounded them, what they were facing, what they wanted, where they were at in life, and the result of them applying the techniques and just really trusting the process. And so it really encouraged me and gave me something to look for and to realize what is possible if I stay the course, even if it looks different for everybody. So I said all of that to say, I guess to get that out the way, I definitely am going to do the video, firstly. But back to the insight that I received while walking. What came to me is, like I said, as a result of manifestation, what God has done for us, it is the fulfillment of a long-time desire or request of mine. All I have known is, the rat race and working, not really ever having time to myself, let alone my family, but for myself to just really rest and relax and not have to worry about what's not being done. Or I really have never had a chance to not be in fight or flight, or to be what do they call it, like I said, fight or flight, or just really on edge because of scarcity and what needs to be done and what is gonna happen if it doesn't get done. And so really working myself into the ground, that's all I've been used to. So I always desired just the ability to not worry about my day-to-day provision, not live from hand to mouth, and just really just time to rest and reflect and to see what it is that I would like to do if I wasn't doing what I thought at the time I had to do, which was work my life away as a slave on the hamster wheel. And so as a result of what God did for us, it has given me the time in abundance now. But the thing is, it was such a dramatic shift that it really threw off my equilibrium, and I'm really recalibrating because you don't realize how much you are programmed deeply by the matrix, especially if that's all that you've known, that's all that you've seen, that's all that's been propagated. And granted, you do have your outliers, entrepreneurs and people that have broken free, however they have, and continue to live successfully, but they seem to be always the minority and not the majority. And even though you may desire it for yourself, you may not know how it looks or even if it will ever come. And so when it happened for me, which has been a long desire of mine, is to unplug from this matrix, and to do what I'm supposed to be doing and was sent here to do, as opposed to just, and I know it ain't working as a wage slave on this hamster wheel, which it's still not enough. Like, no matter how much you work, for some reason, success or peace or joy or it always seems to elude you. And I mean, I don't know everybody's story, but I know it's pretty similar. And I know that there may not be quite the case for everybody, but I know for me, it's like the harder I work, the farther I got behind, or the further things seemed to be from me. And I never got to the point to where I can just kick my feet up and relax and say that I arrived at a destination. called there, to where everything was done, everything was perfectly in alignment, everything was paid for, everything was done, and I was able to rest and relax and reflect. I've never experienced that. And quite frankly, I'm not saying nirvana or perfection on earth, but I believe that I believe that it's possible. I'm not saying that life is not going to be life and that contrast still doesn't come, but I do believe that we can get to that point of shalom, to where they say nothing is missing, nothing is broken, and nothing is lacking. And so I've experienced that as a result of what has happened for us. And it's a paradigm shift, because it's like when you don't have it, all you can do is speculate, or at this point, if you've never experienced it, all you can do is speculate as to how it would feel, and what you would do, and how your life would go. And like, if you get what it is that you desired. And so with me always wanting free time, apart from having to work and having to live hand or foot to mouth, I always imagine what my days would be like. I imagine how business would be, how everything would be. But when you actually get what it is that you desire, it is definitely like a culture shock. And so I could definitely understand now why, when people come to a sudden windfall of money, and all they've been used to is scarcity and lack and poverty and deprivation, it can actually do more harm than good. I won't say destroy, but it definitely, I definitely understand now why people with money, on the other side of money, celebrity, and fame, say that money doesn't change you, or it doesn't solve everything. And it's like, well, it's easy to say that when you have money, you have access to everything that you ever thought you wanted. But I get it. It's just like, but my thing was like, let me experience it for myself so that I can make that call. But I understand it's like, as much as money does change things on the outside, they don't change things on the inside. If anything, they magnify those things on the inside that we think will be maxed, or will just disintegrate and suddenly disappear once we get what it is that we desire, whether it be money, status, fame, that relationship, whatever it is that we seek to attain. As much as things change on the outside, it is definitely temporal. And no, I'm not saying I'm not against money. Not at all. I love it. Want more of it. But it's not the end all to be all. It's just a tool like anything else. And it makes life more manageable. It gives you options. It gives you freedom. It does a lot of great things. But it also brings to light all of the things that are not so great, or that may be ugly within us. And not only do they bring them to the surface, but it magnifies them. And so I said all of that to say is that, as a result of me having all of this free time that I've always wanted to do, what I always wanted to do so badly, you would think it would be a no-brainer. And you would think I would just seamlessly just slide right into it. Nope, think again. With an abundance of free time, and without that motivation of fight or flight, pushing you every day to get up and go to work so that things will or won't get done, depending on if you go or not, without having to worry about immediate needs, and everything, not only having everything that we need, but a lot of what we want, just enjoying life. With the abundance of free time, it's been very difficult. It's been more difficult because I don't have the set structure of a job, that I've been so used to for the last maybe 20 years. And so that's why I say we don't realize how much we've been programmed, or how deep the program go, when you don't have that structure of someone compelling you, telling you what to do, when to do it, and how to do it, a place you have to be at a certain time, and something that you do every day that has become ingrained. Whether you like it or not, it has become automatic or second nature for you. That's why it's so difficult for people who have been institutionalized to reacclimate to society, because it's so ingrained and they're so used to it, they don't know how to function any other way. It's the same way with me and working. So as a result of not having to be anywhere every day, or not having to be up at a certain time, or not having anything specifically to do, that just kind of gives your flesh or your ego, man, it just kind of I guess what it's called entropy, pretty much, where everything tends to a state of disorder. And so without having any structure or any order, it's like I want to do the things that I've always wanted to do, but there is no strong motivation to do them. And so I have found myself wanting, like I said, to do the things and spend time researching, prayer, meditation, studying, business, trading, just the things that I've always wanted to do when I didn't have any time. Now I have an abundance of time, and it's the opposite end of the spectrum. But there has been a initiation phase or transition phase to where, because like I said, it's like a culture shock. And so that's when I realized, man, like this paradigm and this program runs extremely deep to the point to where you want to do the things, and you're able to do the things now that you always wanted to do when you weren't able to do them. And now that I'm able to do them, it's a fight and it's a struggle within. And so it's really been a transition, but that's where self-awareness comes in, to where I think it was Carl Jung that said, if we don't make the unconscious conscious, it will continue to sabotage us, and we will call it fate. So that's where self-awareness comes in, that seeing the reality of where you are laid bare, non-judgmentally, of course. But once you see everything in light of how it really is, then you at least have a decision. You can continue blindly, in the way you've been operating, or you can make a decision to do things differently and go the opposite direction. It's your choice. And that's what awareness gives us. It brings us makes us aware and brings us to the present, and it allows us to see unbiased. And so as a result of that, I'm just like, man, this is ugly. And if I have experienced this only after working 2 decades, then I can imagine people who have had 6 or 7 decades of this, or people who are always used to struggle and strife and toil, why it's so hard for them, and why most don't eventually break through, because it takes a lot of inner work, it takes a lot of self-awareness, and et cetera, et cetera. But what I have to say, I feel like I'm rambling, but I know that there are gems in here, so it's not just babble. What the thought that came to me was, if everything, what was the question? Okay, the question came like this. What does it matter, or would it matter what it looked like or how it comes if everything that needs to get done gets done? And what the question came to me in light of, like I said, it's been a struggle for me to transition from working a job, having to work a job, and I'm talking about 6 or 7 days, like long, hard days, in order to not even break even, to now the opposite end of the spectrum, to where I don't have to work at all and everything is still done. And it seems like more comes in. It's just like a total, it's like a total 180. It's just like really blowing my mind. But it came to them because I was just like I said, with being programmed by the 9-to-5 matrix, you're used to working, cause and effect. You work and you get paid Friday. You know X amount of dollars you're gonna have. You know what time the deposit gonna hit. You know what's gonna need to be done. What's more urgent. You're gonna know what you're gonna have to partially pay. What's not gonna get paid this week. What's gonna have to carry over. Like, all these things in advance. So it is, even though it is not healthy and it's not really secure, it's, I guess, a false air of security or stability, because you know where your next dollar is going to come from, no matter how miserable you are making them or how much you don't want to do what it is that you're doing to get them. I guess it's an air of certainty, and that really appeals to the ego man, and the left linear rational brain that wants to calculate and compute everything in advance, and that's where it gets its security from. So it's like a total 180, like I said, paradigm shift, when that's not the case no more. So pretty much that rug is swept off from under its feet, and it does not have the certainty that it had. But not only is it not lacking, but it's actually more than it was when you had the air of certainty. And so that's what I was thinking of. I was just like, well, I don't have the day-to-day or the weekly certain income that I had. That still was not enough, but I also don't lack for anything, and everything is paid in advance. And so why does it matter? as long as nobody's being hurt, harmed, or violated or manipulated, it works out for the good of all. No malice or anything like that. I don't know why I would have to put that disclaimer out there, but pretty much everything is getting done that needs to be done, that I used to have to struggle and toil for. Now it's done, and it's done better than I was able to do it, and it's done in fullness, and it's done in advance. So why does it matter that I don't have the allure of a quote unquote secure income, or it's not being done by the works of my hands? And as crazy as that sound, it's like we hate to work hard when we are doing it, but we don't know any other way but to work hard, but to toil, but to strive, and all of these things. And so that was the question that came to me was, what does it matter how it looks or how it comes about if the end game or the end goal or the objective is being accomplished? And even the way that the money came about, like I said, the testimony that I haven't released yet, but even the way that the money came, I could have never fathomed, and it would have never entered my reasoning mind. But the fact of the matter is that we got the money, and it was pretty much effortless, and pain. Well, it was effortless. It didn't require anything on our part. It was, for the most part, painless. It was easy, and it was pretty efficient looking in hindsight. But I would have never fathomed it. But the end goal and the objective of what I intended and what I desired got done. And so that's the question that came to me, and that's the question I want to propose to you all is, does it matter how it comes or how it looks if you get what it is that you want or you desire? And I'm not saying that it violates anyone else or anyone else is harmed in the process or is manipulated or affected negatively by it, but I mean everything is in divine order and everything, and it works out for the best of all parties and not just you. That would be very selfish, and that's not how it works. And if it does, there definitely would be repayment on the back end. And so, like I said, I believe a lot of jewels were dropped. I'm definitely going to be doing a whole lot more videos. I'm definitely going to be dropping this testimony here within the next day or two. Like I said, there are gems on here. If you go back and re-listen, I hope you got some value from it. I hope I just wasn't rambling all over the place, saying a whole bunch of nothing. Until next time, like I said, like, share, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff for the algorithm. Excuse me. It's your boy, and I'm out until next time. Peace.